Good morning, my members. You've been on my mind since yesterday. I'm coming to you right after my yoga class. Hello, it's Thursday, August the 14th. I've been up since like 4:30 in the morning. I can't believe that it's like, oh, I already 6 hours in. I should just go to sleep. I should just go, because I've done so much this morning. But, Fufi is still here for yoga. There he is. Fufi sat on my mat the entire time, and he did not leave until Shavasana. I was like, oh, gee, thanks, Fufi. Did you have a nice, long 90-minute Shavasana on my mat? And now, now you decide to leave? But anyway, yesterday I wanted to get to you guys because my schedule is so crazy with the which event. I hope you all are finding your way and things are starting to calm down. I am still waiting for my canvas. I haven't gotten it yet. I was on, for those of you that know Chris from the Diamond Brush, he is a member. I was on his Discord yesterday, and I believe he got, I don't know if it's his canvas. I think he got that one. But, I don't know. Are we letting this out of the bag yet, Chris? I don't know. So I'll let you respond to everyone. But I think he ordered, if you go to Ren's Diamond Art Emporium, and when you turn on, you'll see the Huntress. I believe that Chris got that one. Oh, no, wait a minute. BB got that one. BB got, or did you both get it? So if you're on Chris's Discord, you will see the Huntress. And BB said, I'm not opening mine. But, I knew that she had gotten something from Ren because there were Halloween stickers all over it. And BB, I'm going to snap a picture and I'm going to give it to you guys before I tell the subscribers. I was like, BB, what kind of setup do you have? She has her Elizabeth Ward storage containers. And so brilliant. She got herself an acrylic stand that you would use for nail polishes, and she has all her Elizabeth Ward containers in there standing up. I'm like, BB, do you mind if I tell my members about that, because I share tips and tricks with them? And she's like, no, go ahead. So I hope you're finding your way around which. I'm waiting to see my canvas. I cannot wait. But this morning, my teacher, my yoga teacher, my mentor, Felicia, she films her yoga class. And I had my journal next to me. This you should see what my mat looks like. Oh my God, you should see what my whole house looks like. I have my journal. There's one there. There's one there. There's another one. There's my readings. And as I'm coming into a quiet space, I'm things are coming out. Now Fufi is on my yoga journal. That's not my yoga journal. My yoga journal is not here. I have other journals. Do not lay on that. He's making himself all comfortable on my book. However, this is a composition book, which brings me to, I gotta touch base with my members who are doing the Raven, because you guys have questions about that too. No, it does not have to be a Raven. No, it doesn't have to be any specific canvas whatsoever. It could be whatever canvas you want it to be. This little exploration into this event is, so interesting, because I went on to, Robin and Brianna's channel yesterday to say, hey, will you list my event that I'm having? It's a member-only event. And I gave them all the information. They're like, how would you describe your event? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how I would describe it. It's the teaching of the Raven that gave me the idea. It's the personality and the Raven that gave me the idea. But you don't need a Raven canvas. You don't need a fresh start. You could take any canvas that you want. This is about spending time with you, getting to know my members, offering you something that brings you a deeper connection to your diamond painting, and learning about different cultures and how the Raven is so revered, and just his whole personality just reminded me of some of the charms and challenges that we have being diamond painters. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I have my class laid out, but then I'm thinking of other things that I want to put into my Raven journal. And I had intended to do my journal with you guys. Now, you don't have to do this, but like this is, again, I can't stand this tripod. I feel like you're looking at the top of my head. Um, you don't have to do this, but it would just add a little depth to your diamond painting, because I've always looked at diamond painting as a meditative art form. From the first time that I completed a diamond painting, which was pretty much a Temu diamond painting of angel wings, because I was having a really deep depression about losing honor and crying all day long, and like it wasn't until I put the last drill on the canvas that the next thing that I absolutely did was picked my camera up and I started talking into it. I had a YouTube channel for 20 years. I never did anything with it. And I had restaurants. I was going to do this. I was going to do, when I got the cafe, I was going to do that. I was going to do all these things with my YouTube channel. I never did anything. I never felt compelled to do anything. But I put that last drill on that canvas. I looked at it. I hung it up. I just looked back and I was like, I don't know what the hell that is. It doesn't look like angel wings. But I knew the benefit that I had gotten from that. And I just knew I had to tell people. I had no, there was just me, channel, one member. I was talking to myself, but I had to get out of me what I experienced. And I have always looked at diamond painting as a meditative art, and also because being a yoga teacher also, and I know how hard meditation is for some individuals. Some people love it. They love it. They could do open-eyed meditation, they could do closed-eyed meditation, but then there's the person that is just like, oh my God, my thoughts are rushing in my head. I can't get out of this what everybody else gets out of it. And it does begin to slow you down, because it is very, I always call this a deliberate art form, even though everything is done for you. I look at a canvas and I see nothing but chaos, right? You see all these little symbols and you're like, oh, you know, okay, I gotta get this drill and I gotta put it here. But that, all that is sorted out for you. You can work right from the baggie, you can work from your containers, you can work it any way that you want. But, and even though everything is worked out for you, colors have been picked, you're being told where to put it, there's nothing mindless about it. It's still a very deliberate practice. And then you get to see maybe something that you're looking at it and it doesn't really seem clear to you, and then all of a sudden you walk away. Like I was like that with, you know, confetti. I was like, I'm not confetti. No, that's not for me. This is enough that I have a bunch of symbols that are just like thrown on a canvas. And then I got caught in a small confetti area of a canvas that I had made for me by Dreamer Design, and it was my woman in hat with feather boa, and I was in this, she's the focal point, but in the background there was like a little Paris scene behind her, very small, but oh my God, drove me insane. And I got up and I was like, oh, I'm done with this canvas, I ain't doing this anymore. And I went to go get something to drink, probably another cup of coffee, and as I was coming back into the room, I had hung the canvas up, I was done with it. And I looked at the canvas, I was like, oh, that's what everybody's talking about. So, you know, I could go down so many roads with yoga about, you know, being in the midst of a storm and, you know, you can't see straight, you can't think straight, but then you walk away from something and you come back with a new perspective. This is what I would say the theme of the Raven is going to be. And this is what I would say what you're going to find in this journey with me. So, I've taken so many classes between here and New York, and I was living at the New York Open Center. I mean, not physically living there, but it was right down the street from my restaurant. When I had to escape from the restaurant, I would go to the New York Open Center, because there was always somebody fresh and new and interesting talking about self-care philosophy, and I took a bunch of classes, and one of my favorite things that I did there was meet Julia Cameron through the Artist Way. I've done the Artist Way for years, and I met Julia 3 times, and just I was like this the whole time that she was talking. I sat front row, you know, just staring at her the whole time. She was unbelievable. Still is unbelievable. And Kathleen Abrams, who wrote Journal to the Self, and Journal to the Self is where I learned to. This is your best friend, a composition book. So I'm going to share this particular one with you. This is mine and John's book. This actually originated in my restaurant. And, you know, shifts change, right? And so there wasn't text messages and all that going on at the time. And I started a book and called it a communication book. And I would write notes in it, and I was there in the morning until like dinner time. And I would leave notes for my PM staff, and then I would go home, and my ex-husband would be there for the PM shift, and then they would leave me notes for the morning. And this went back and forth. And then journaling on my own. However, when I started to date John and we actually moved in together, he would be up, and he's still up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And he would be like, he would always be watching me and watching this journaling that I would do. And he would be like, I remember him saying to me, I remember watching you, because when we would get done eating and cleaning up the kitchen, and he would, you know, sit at his desk, and he would get things ready for the next day. I would always go out in the yard. I was a smoker at the time, really bad. And I would go out in the yard, and I would go out in the yard with my journal. And he said, I remember him looking at me from the kitchen window. I was like, oh, he's weird. And he was like, his thought of me was, this one's different. I remember him telling me that. He's like, you're always writing. What are you writing? I'm like, I write to, like, because there's like so much shit going on in my life right now. But I have a journal for everything. And so when our schedule's being so off, I'm a night owl, he's an early bird. I left him a note one night in my journal, and he wrote me a note back. And this went off for a while, and I was like, you know what? This reminds me of my restaurant when we used to have a communication book. So John and I have continued this book. So I just wanted to show you. $1.25. Get yourself a journal. And then what I did was, I'm going to give you your first little exercise for your Raven event. I was going to wait, but I said, you know, between Witch and everything else, and Drills and Chills. So when you're at your dollar store, because I know you're going because your kids are going back to school. When you're at your dollar store, I just go for the stationery. I love when the kids go back to school. I love it. I go to the stationery area and I buy all kinds of stuff because I'm a writer. Journal, pens, paper. Oh, I love it all. So get yourself a journal. Now you could just get yourself a journal and you can name it Raven. But I want you to do a little exercise. I want you to have a little fun because I want you to get involved, and I want you to experience the kind of fun that you're going to have on this little journey that we're going to be doing for the 5 weeks in October on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. So get yourself a little journal. Maybe, oh, I'll show you what I did here. So I wanted me and John, this is not our original journal. This is one of our journals because we go through them. So what I did here was I got some paint and I just smushed it all around. And then I got a piece of Saran Wrap while the paint was wet, and I put it on top and I scrunched it up to give it this scrunchy kind of textured look to it. And you let it dry. And then I took the plastic off, the Saran Wrap off, threw it away. And then I got stickers from the dollar store, and I just made I put the little corner stickers here, I put the other stickers here that say love, wish, forever, cherish, and I put the roses on there. That's it. This is our personal journal now. And what did I spend? $1.25. Stickers were another $2.50. The paint I had. So spend $1.25, but don't spend any more than $10. You don't want to get too. You can really only spend $3.75, or closer to $4.50. Don't go over $5. You don't need a lot of stuff, is what I'm trying to tell you. But I just went to the dollar store. I don't know if you guys saw my dollar store haul. I gotta tell you, I got these Jot. Oh, this is from Ink. No, this is Jot Ink. Jot makes the best little pen. These are highlighters. They're a pretty pastel. They had other colors, Um, they have, they had the matching pens to go with the highlighters, and so I'll show you. John just left me a note. He ran in, I was doing yoga, he left me a note, and I used my highlighter. Like, he left me a note. I will give you the following checklist to make for me, because I left him a note. Give me your checklist that you want me to make. And it's a way for him to clear his mind. He's not walking around with this saying, I got to tell Lisa to do this. I forgot to tell her. So he's got it, and he knows that I got it now, because we refer to this book back and forth. I need a gig checklist, what he needs to take with him, and I need a busking checklist, what he does, what he's doing right now. He's out right now. He goes to different neighborhoods. Yesterday he was in the Italian market. Now he's going down to where like the Navy Yard is and where our like concert area are, and he's just singing. That's it. That's all he's doing. And then he was telling me to make we want to check out, there's a few restaurants that we really like, and we want to do a happy hour, and he's like, Steak 38 next happy hour. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, we said we were going to do that for my birthday. So he forgot, so I'll remind him. But it was really funny, because I said, I highlighted with my pink highlighter, you know, I settled in for a long written note, and, you know, I had my coffee all ready, and you know, but I just used this really pretty pink highlighter that I have. And you could do that too. It's a gorgeous pink highlighter or a green highlighter. It's got this little silver. You could just, you know, maybe you just want to color your pages. Whatever it is that you could buy a box of crayons. I was walking around the dollar store, they had crayons, and I opened them up to smell them. I was like, oh my God, that familiar smell of crayons. Just something. You could get a magazine, you could clip pictures out and glue them. That was another thing that I learned from Journal to the Self. Okay, so I'm going to give you another thing that I'm giving you some kind of idea of what kind of fun we're going to have with our diamond painting, and just becoming more aware, because even though our diamond painting pulls us out of our situation, pulls us out of whatever storm we're in, whether it's just a break from the kids and closing the door, maybe it's just a break from whatever weight that you're carrying and you drop the world off your shoulders for a little while. Maybe it's just I'm having a very relaxing morning. I got up this morning, I did my vibration plate that I love, that I bought. Then I sat down and I bought this bank that you glue crystals on. It's in my community post. You can go and look at it. Then I did yoga. So I had a relaxing morning, and I'm looking forward to it, being that I was up early and I got done a lot of stuff this morning. I'm going to take out my square, the last class of my square drills and do that. Maybe John will want to read Jaws. And I could do this all with a free mind. But I wanted to show you how you can experience also and have these little moments that, you know, you're at work and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to go home and do my diamond painting. I can't wait to go home and maybe jump in a bath and just relax, or have a glass of wine while I'm going to make myself this exceptional dinner tonight. Maybe not exceptional, but I'm going to go shop. I'm going to go to the, you know, on my lunch break, I'm going to go and pick up a nice steak and a nice wine and some, you know, ingredients for a salad. And I'm going to go home. I'm going to pour myself a glass of wine. I'm going to get really comfy tonight. Put something nice on TV. Like all these like little mini breaks. But there's so many mini breaks. I used to call them miracle moments, because when Kathleen Abrams gave me the permission, because that's how I look at it, from Journal of the Self. And she nailed me, you know, she really nailed me. I always wanted to write, and I went out and bought these expensive pens and beautiful journals, and as soon as my handwriting didn't look like Jane Austen's, I was like, oh, well, I screwed that up, you know, my journal's ruined now. It's just, you know, like, who's going to read my journal? Like, what was I thinking, you know? Having a dollar store composition book frees you from perfectionism. And my first journal, I am not kidding you, I wrote on the cover, I wrote inside. I didn't want to let this journal go. It was the first time that I felt like I am a writer, and this book is so important to me. I carried it with me everywhere. And get yourself a glue stick. Your kids are going to need them for school. Get yourself a glue stick. And anything that catches your eye, you could just dump your handbag out at the end of the night and just be like, oh, here's the receipt from the lunch I had with so-and-so today. I'm going to glue this in my book, and I'm going to tell a funny story about it. Like, or maybe it was a deep conversation. Who knows what the situation was that you had lunch with whoever. Maybe you had lunch with yourself. Take yourself out on a date. That is one of the tools of the artist way, is that you take yourself out for a date. If you're taking yourself out for an artist date, that's one of the tools of the artist way. So you're already learning something else. With The Artist Way by Julia Cameron, you could take yourself out on an artist date, and you're taking yourself out to the dollar. You don't take anybody with you. You just go by yourself. And you pick your journal. It doesn't have to be a composition book. They have beautiful journals now. But it's $1.25. Get yourself something to write in. Get yourself a pretty pen. Buy yourself some little stickers. Be a kid. Get a crayon. Whatever, it might not even make any sense. They're the best kind of things that you buy, but get yourself a glue stick. Somebody gave me a little bonbon, a little chocolate, and it actually, through this exercise, let me tell you, this is what I'm telling you. You start to open up your world. You don't just go, oh, a chocolate, and pop it in your mouth. You could, but I really was noticing my world around me. And I got this beautiful little bonbon, and it was the most gorgeous color wrapper that I knew I wanted to see. I knew I wanted this to be my journal. And I didn't have that bonbon until I was alone. And I'll tell you where I ate it, because I'll tell you another secret. St. Anthony's Church was directly across the street from my cafe. And when New York gets a little bit, New York is a lot of energy, but it requires a lot of energy. Whether you have it or not, it's going to suck it out of you. And I would go into, this was my tip for turning New York off. Run in a church, a synagogue, anywhere. And I would be the only one in there all the time. And I began to photograph churches. I have a whole slew of photographs from churches. And I went into the church of St. Anthony's, said a prayer, walked around. I used to love, and it just smells good, and it's so pretty. It's candlelight. Sometimes there's an organ player. It was like my little escape that nobody knew about. And I very quietly opened my little bonbon, and I looked at this chocolate, and I smelled it, and I listened, like, you want to tell me anything? And I just took one little slow bite, and I closed my eyes, and I was like, just tasting the texture and how the texture is now changing as it's melting in my mouth, and the different flavors. And I was just like, oh my God, I am in heaven. And I heard the chocolate say, you're mine. I got you now. But it was such an incredible experience to just really slow down with this little bonbon, this little chocolate, this incredible new chocolatier that opened up in the neighborhood, and just let my senses experience this. And from that, as my world is opening up, I developed a coffee out of this whole experience that I had. About its flavor, and this dark chocolate with dark chocolate and orange, please forget it. And I was like, I want to make a cappuccino out of this. I want it to be creamy, and I want it to have a burst of orange flavor, and a beautiful dark espresso. It's one of my top sellers. All this out of someone giving me a piece of chocolate that I didn't just mindlessly pop it in my mouth and eat it. But this is the type of experience that I want you to have with the Raven event. And actually, while I'm talking about all this, I will eventually put this little video out to the subscribers, but you guys get it first. You guys get it first. And you get the tip with the nail polish that you're going to see. That BB, great, tip that she had. And she also said, do you have the little ring that opens up the containers of the Elizabeth Ward? Is a game changer. And especially, you guys know I do my own nails. I haven't had a chance to do them because I'm doing so much work with Witch, and I'm typing a lot, and I'm like, I got time for nails. So, well, when I have my nails on, I use my tweezer. And I just want you to, experience a little bit about what to expect with the Raven event, what I'm doing today, what's going on. Okay, the last chapter of Jaws is coming to the members on Sunday. I said to John last night, how many pages is the last chapter? It's right here. Let me go get it. I gotta crawl. He's still on my mat. I gotta crawl across the room. Don't move, Foofy. He won't move either. He won't move. I had to get ready for yoga. I had to pull the mat. He won't get off the mat. I pulled it. My yoga teacher was hysterical because she had her cat on her lap. I said, he's 20 pounds. I think I'm done. I think I'm just going to lay down and do Shavasana. I'm over it. So the last chapter, I'm trying not to even look at any words. Well, that was 13. Don't even tell me. Because 13 was long. John said, I read for 90 minutes. I'm like, I know you did. 14, page 296. Do not tell me it's like 5 pages! 296 to 309. 4 is 300. It's 13 pages. So anyway, now, I asked AI, how do I run a movie through Discord? Now, I know that Ditsy ran Oz through Discord because she has Watch Together, and one of the apps that you can watch together with is YouTube, and YouTube has Wizard of Oz. And so she just streamed it. Me, it's going to be something different. Now, they said, oh, well, you can put your account on like Prime or Hulu or whatever, or Netflix, and you could stream. No, you can't. Those platforms don't allow you to do that. So I'm probably going to go out and buy Jaws, and then I have to hook it to a DVD player and stream it either through my laptop or my phone, which I won't do. I'll do it through my laptop. I got to ask my son how to do all that. He'll know how to do it. And that's how we'll be watching Jaws. Discord, private room. Okay? That's going to happen. The other thing I wanted to know what you guys, my members, this is for, is we're coming up to the end of August. And what day do you want to have our Google Meet? I had it for like a really weird day. I'm looking for my phone, okay? I'm talking to it. Yoga Brain. What day do you want to have our Google Meetup? I know we do at the end of the month. And it might be a good time to do it right before which kicks in on 9/1. And I want to see what you guys are working on. You could share anything that you want. You could share your Raven event. You could share your which event canvas. You could show me what you're working on. But I like to catch up with you guys and see you face to face, so I don't feel like I'm talking to the abyss. Okay. Then I am starting my reading of The Bad Seed, which I believe is on YouTube, and I can stream. Now, you're more than welcome to watch the movie if you want. We can do it together. Let me tell you, this movie, I remember being homesick from school, and it came on. And I love these type of movies that take place in one room. It bothers other people. It's like they never left the room. No, you didn't need to. Like they never, like they're outside like maybe one time. Right? Because this is about a little girl. Her name is Rhoda. And her mother. And her father, I believe, is like, he's like military. So he's going to like a base station or whatever. So mom is home alone with Rhoda. And then there's the upstairs neighbor that just adores Rhoda. She is the perfect little child. Very exceptional manners. And she always comes downstairs to shower Rhoda with gifts. and she's just like this kind of child that is just like, no matter what Monica gives her, the upstairs neighbor. But Monica is very philosophical. She's very into now, which psychology at the time was becoming, you know, this is what you did. You sat around with your friends and you had tea and you had intellectual discussions and philosophy and psychology, and that's what they do on their spare time when they get together as neighbors, or they just get together. That's their little meet up, and they meet with interesting people. Now, Rhoda's mother, her father was was he a writer? I think he was a writer, and he would write about Criminal Minds. And he's coming to town, and they of course want to sit him down. They want to pick his brain. You know, they're having like these nature versus nurture discussions, and that happens. So everything is happening in one room, even though, you know, Rhoda goes off to school, but you don't see the school. You don't see her at school. And then something happens at school, and one of the mothers comes to the house, and she wants to speak to Rhoda, but she's, you know, completely drunk. Oh, and you'll know the actress right away. I think that she stole the movie. I really did. She was just so good. So good. And so these are the players in the movie. So it's mom, dad, Rhoda. It's the upstairs neighbor, Monica. It's, I'm trying to remember what the mother's name was. It's her father that comes to visit. Oh, and of course, it's the gentleman who takes care of the grounds. Because Monica is also, she owns the property. She's the landlady. And she has someone, what's his name? Leroy. Leroy. And he can't stand Rhoda. And he does nothing but taunt her and torture her. He can't stand her. He's like, oh, little Miss Perfect. Everybody thinks you're so good. Yeah, you look at you know, and Rhoda can just tune you out. She can just tune you out. And she's nasty, Rhoda. You know, she's picture perfect, but she's nasty. So that's what I'm reading, and you're more than welcome to watch the movie, but I remember watching this movie when I was homesick one day from school, and I just was like, oh my God, what did I just witness here? I watched really good movies when I was home from school. Mildred Pierce with Joan Crawford. I saw The Bad Seed. I mean, every Bette Midler movie Betty Davis, Bette Davis movie, and Bette Midler too, that was out. You know, I think one of the reasons I love being home from school, I never played sick, but I knew when I was sick, I was going to just watch a really good black and white movie. There was always like, oh, this is what goes on during the day. Okay. So, that's happening. It's going to be a fun fall. And then yesterday, I was talking to one of our members in the morning for a while. I was talking to Tracy. And Tracy, I was showing, she was like, oh, your little Christmas canvas that you got is so cute. I'm like, I almost did it. I love it. She was showing me her house. She's all decorated for Halloween. She's ready for Christmas. Her two girls are gorgeous. They're just as funny as Tracy is. They're just adorable. And we got to talking, and I don't even know how it came about. But I said, you know, John wants to visit Canada. And she's like, yeah, come. And I was like, John, you want to go to Canada? And he's like, yeah, I'm game. So we're planning a trip to Canada. Ricky and Lucy, they're going to Canada. And I won't have the Mertzes with me unless everybody else come to Canada with me. So, yeah, we're going. And while I'm talking to Tracy, he's telling me, listen, we can go right down Route 66. I'm saying to Tracy, he's nuts. He thinks I'm going to drive from the East Coast to the West Coast, take Route 66 straight down, then go head up to Canada. He's nuts. I ain't going that way. So she was laughing. But yeah, we have a trip. We're planning a trip to Canada in July. And I think I picked July because, Christmas in July. And I'm thinking of Tracy. And he's like, yeah, let's go. Because we're trying to get back to Florida. So that's happening. and we were going to try and go like after Thanksgiving, before Christmas, and I said, John, please, let's just not go for the holiday. Let's go after the holiday, because to get the auto train, because we're doing the auto train this time, there is no freaking way that I am driving 18 hours in a car with my chest up against the dashboard, because he brings all his musical equipment with him. I can make it to Virginia, and then we'll grab the auto train. We'll go to Florida, but I'm going to do that during January. But I think he said they're all booked for January, so then maybe we go for April again. I don't know, but we are planning a trip to Canada. So all my Canadian friends, hello, we're coming out. I hope to see you, he's crazy if he thinks I'm getting in a car with him for like how many hours, because he's like, this is going to be a long trip. Well, guess what? You better get a Winnebago. Foofy's coming. And that's the story. I'm already watching Niagara. With Marilyn Monroe. That's a good one. If you want a really good movie, you're like, oh, I want a really good black and white movie, watch Marilyn Monroe in Niagara, and really be blown away, because I remember an interview that she did, and a reporter was talking to her about this particular role, and don't bother to knock. Oh my God, her best work. Her best work. If you're not crying at the end of this movie, check your heart. Check your heart, Tin Man. Check it, because you ain't got one. So, Niagara, and I remember her saying to it was really interesting, Monroe used to carry this book around, that she was very involved in physical fitness, and she was lifting weights. She lifted weights, she did yoga, and she studied the body mechanisms and how the body moved, because your body creates your emotion. Okay? Your physiology creates your psychology, which is why when you're sad or depressed, people are saying, breathe fully, come out into the sunshine, because when you're depressed, how are you carrying yourself? You're probably looking down, you're probably holding your breath, not breathing, and you are telling your mind that you're telling your mind that you're depressed. But if you stand up and you open your chest and you breathe fully and you look forward and you walk outside, it's kind of the fake it, but you will tell your body, I am starting to feel better. You're starting to move your body. So Monroe knew this, and she would carry herself, and her body was the actor, and I don't mean, she was a sex symbol, but she knew how to move her body. And I remember her saying to the reporter, and I believe that she actually had this book with her, and she said, do you want to see her? She was a Gemini too. And he said, see who? And she said, Marilyn. Because she still considered herself Norma Jean. And he went, yeah. And you see her, she's walking on the street where the movie ends. It's like some kind of post office, I believe. And she starts to walk. Her whole face changed. The way that she held her lip, Monroe, her top lip didn't move when she was doing Monroe. Her voice changed. The relaxation of the face changed. The eyes got lowered. And then she started to walk. And the steps got smaller and more sway, and like she was walking on a cloud. It was a transformation I will never forget. I've only seen very few actors transform themselves into a character, and we talked about it. I don't even know which session it was, and it was the doctor from Grey's Anatomy who was playing Brando, who turned himself into Brando, Marlon Brando, And then, as Marlon Brando turned himself into the character of the Godfather. So he had a double transformation right before your eyes. Watch The Offer. It's the blonde doctor on Grey's Anatomy. He used to come into my store for gelato all the time, and he said to me when he left in September, I don't even know if I want to say goodbye to you because I gained 15 pounds coming here and eating gelato, and you told me it was healthy. I'm like, it is healthy. It's better than ice cream. He's like, yeah, but that gained weight. I said, well, I didn't tell you you wouldn't gain weight. I just told you it was healthy. He was really cool. He was a really cool guy, and to see him, turn himself into Marlon Brando and then turn himself as Brando into the God. Mind-blowing. Watch The Offer. And that one scene, if you can get Monroe in that one scene of Niagara, or you get that where she puts Monroe on, that was the greatest role of her life, was Monroe. So I think I told you guys everything. We went down a long rabbit hole, a long drop today. But I'm going to work on my square drill. It's the last lesson of that practice your square drills. I left the confetti part of that canvas as the last part. So we did color blocking, we did working with a tweezer, and I have to put the enhancements on. So we'll work on the enhancements, and we'll work on placement with confetti. So here we go. Getting ready for end of Jaws, beginning of the Bad Seed, and the Raven event, and the Witch event that you all are so excited about. And in fact, what I have to do before I do anything is turn this off, upload it, and I have to check in with my crew, with Rich and Kristen and Tammy and Ren, and see if we've gotten any other sponsors or any other things that I need to know about, so that I can shout out to all you guys. We're all doing such a great job with each one of us on our own platforms, keeping you all, like, if I don't have it, Rich has got it, Rich don't got it, Tammy's got it, Tammy don't got it, Kristen's got it, and then if none of us have it, we then bother Ren. So I will see you guys soon. Have a good one. If you're on the East Coast and it's Thursday, August the 14th, enjoy the thunderstorms that are coming later. Enjoy the day. Bye.